So today we're going to be tying with a new product that we got in the store today, and they are these, the company that makes the fish skulls. They now make Sculpin helmets, and they're basically a little head that's kind of shaped as a Sculpin is. We're going to tie this on a tube fly, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to be tying again on the Pro Tube Fly system tubes. These are the smaller versions that I tie on my intruders. You can see they're quite a bit smaller. They have a junction tube unlike the other one that you can slide on. They also have a weight system here that you can use, but we're gonna just stick with the weight of the Sculpin helmet, to kind of really help it out. So we're going to basically, like I said, it's going to be rabbit, zonker, and a lot of marabou to really get it moving. So we're just going to be using this two-toned olive here, and I'm actually going to tie it in. As you can see, I'm going to tie it in on the back side of where we're going to put the junction. That just kind of gives me a little bit more room in the front there. So we're going to tie it in there, give it one wrap around, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it around the front. And for the underbody here, we're going to make a dubbing loop, and what we're going to be using here is we're going to be using Senyo's laser dub. It's a little off focus, and we're going to use the olive. I'm going to go ahead and spin this. As you can see, it's spun up pretty good, and I'm just going to take my brush, pick it out, really get it kind of really bushy back here. Then I'm gonna basically just palmer this guy. Well, first I'm gonna move my thread up a solid bit here. Let me get this out of the way so you guys can see. Like you said, I'm just gonna go around, pulling it back as I go, just to really get it so it can be, so we're gonna have a relatively buggy body here. Fill it in. Tie her off here and snip that. Wrap it a few more times just to make sure you secure it in. And again, I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to really pick it out. Get it nice underbody. Kind of keep her down there a little bit. And basically figure out where I want my length of my rabbit zonker. I'm going to bring that guy back over top. Wet it to give it that little crease and tie her in. So that really gives you the back and the tail, and then you got the underbelly there. So one other thing that I'm going to like to do, and this is just a little cool material that I have, is my Lady Amherst here. But what I like to do is I'm going to take this little, she's got these little red feathers under here, and I'm going to use that actually as like a gill or just a little bit of red underneath the body here. So I'm going to flip my guy over, run it about the full length of the belly, wrap her in so you got a little bit of red accent underneath there. A lot of times that gives, nice natural appearance. So next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take some strung rooster saddle here, and we're going to make like a under collar to really help flare out the marabou that we're going to use. So I'm going to pick out a relatively stiff but bigger feather here to really get the ability to make that Sculpin head super big. So you can see we're going to use a relatively large feather. I'm going to trim it up a little bit. So if you wrap it in backwards, that'll really make it, it'll come kind of going forward a little more and give you a little bit stiffer and tighter, like you said, back collar here, because this is going to help keep the Marabou flared out pretty good behind the head to really give it that wide profile in the front half here. Go ahead and tie that one off. So then we're going to just kind of get the material back relatively just straight up and down. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a little Flashabou. Well, I'm working with some polar flash actually. It's kind of crinkly, and we're going to use this in like a copper color to really just give it a little bit of accent running down the side, like a little side strap here. So I'm going to tie it in about the length of the fly, maybe just a hair longer so it kind of sticks out the back. Tie it on the side here. Get that guy off. So I'm just going to wrap this over the tube and angle it that way. Like you said, this way you can really kind of adjust the length there. Like I said, then this will kind of get closer in, but it'll add a little bit more flair to it as well, which, like I said, we really want the front half or front quarter of this fly to really flare out. So the next thing we're going to use is we're going to use some hairline barred Marabou, some black and olive barred Marabou here. I'm just going to take one on each side and tie that in. Kind of make sure you distribute that pretty good along the side and then just pinch her tight. And so that's one of the reasons why we have the Rooster saddle back there, is to really help that flare out. As you can see there, it's really full. So I'm just going to trim that, give it one or two more wraps just for security. Do the same thing to the other side. Size, you don't want to have a lopsided fly. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, is not being dimensionally equal. Cut this guy out. There you go. So as you, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I didn't cover up the bottom that much. I left it relatively close so you can see that little red strip there. Fly's going. The last deal are the little fins. We're going to use some little partridge feathers here. Just peel them back a little bit, as you can see there, clip them, and then I'm just going to tie those in on either side. One thing else I'm going to do, I'm going to tie it a couple times, get it tight, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the feather out and wrap behind it one or two times to really get that guy flared out as well, so it's not pushing up against the Marabou and kind of, you know, going against the whole purpose of having that rooster back there really flared out. So like I said, we'll give it a couple tight wraps here, really cinch down, and like I said, we're just gonna peel this back a little bit. Wrap one, wrap two, so that really kind of flares it out a little more. And like I said, keeps up with that wider profile. So I'm just going to whip finish. You don't need to whip finish a lot. The deal. It's going to be covered up by this fish skull here. Slide her on. So there you have it. Little fish skull. It's missing one thing though. We gotta add some eyes to it. Just some stick-on eyes here. It's amazing how these things just bring a fly to life once you put them on. And there you have it.